That Reef Show.
That Reef Show.
This is That Reef Show.
Welcome to episode 3 of That Reef Show, brought to you by Marine Depot and My First Fish Tank. Don't miss anything. Sign up for both of our newsletters. The link is directly below. And if you want to jump to any individual segment in this episode, just click on the timestamp below. Enjoy episode 3 of That Reef Show. It's time. I have focused on equipment for like 2 years now, and I've neglected corals and livestock and inverts and all that good stuff. The first thing I'm going to do is clean out the sump. You can see there's a lot of algae growth in here. Here's a little before shot, kind of what I'm going to do. This is my return. I have this shut off so that all the water is going through the manifold and recirculating so that none of this stuff makes its way back up to the tank. Look at my, I don't know if you can see it. It is so nasty in there. And all my Cato's dying anyways, so I might as well clean it up. Got the skimmer out, which was kind of a pain. I think I'll put a reactor in here instead for now until I get a refugium set back up. It's relatively clean. I got most of the detritus out. Now it's time to install the Aquamax cone skimmer, which is so much bigger and better than my other one. Thank you, Marine Depot. That hasn't looked this clean in a long time. My cats jump, and look at the freaking mess they make. Isn't that ridiculous? Every day I gotta clean that off. Ugh. Look at this mess I've made. The sump's pretty much done. Now I'm gonna do a big time gravel vac, replace it with 20 gallons of water. I don't know if I'm gonna get around to the scaping today. That might have to wait, but we'll see. Everyone's settled down. Unfortunately, I lost 2 of my chromis during that, and maybe I lost all 3. Like that water change was too much for them. You know, I have the gyre set up, and I think it might be putting out enough flow, so I'm going to take down the RP-Ms. Got everything pretty organized for the most part. I also put the anemones kind of behind this rock so that they'd have a little less flow. Sump area looks fantastic. The Aquamax skimmer has been installed. I'm running a reactor right now. The reactor has carbon and GFO. I move the fan around. These currently are the reef breeders. These aren't doing anything, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put one of the reef breeder wave makers on the 40-gallon tank once I get the MD Elite sump involved. Hi. You want to say hi? This is our dog. This is Gus. Hi. He has a very big underbite. He's not growling. That's just his face. So right now I have the gyro on 100%, so I need to program that so it's not 100% all the time. And then turn this back up, which I can actually do now. All I really have left to do, I think, is aquascape. Oh, look at this. Uh-oh. I think we're getting low on water because I put the pump up. Yeah, see? Whew. Yikes. The Herbie. Back at it for day 2, and I have a ton of rock. Most of it's not fancy. I really can't put any of the purple rock in, so I gotta use just some of the old white rock I have. I have different pieces, and kind of what I'm hoping to do is build some sort of thing, an arch, like from here to here, and then from over here you'll see some sort of arch like here to here. It will hopefully give me more places to put my corals. This is my absolute favorite stone fix. And if you've never used it before, wear gloves. I have a base piece here and then another base piece here, and I have this little archway that goes through. It's not great. I don't love this rock. I wish I could buy some better rock, but it's so expensive, and I figured I'll just use it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cement this part and this part. So I think I need some more plastic cups. We have 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece, 4, and 5. And this whole area now along the top is a good spot for corals. And we do have some vacant area, which is important down here. I wish there was a little bit more, but the anemones are on these 2 rocks, so there's really not much I can do about it. But this tank's pretty much done. Next project, sorry, the white balance is gonna be super orange, is the 40-gallon quarantine tank. I asked Cole's girlfriend, Lindsay, if she thinks Cole spends too much on his reef tank, and she looked over at him, and she looked back to me, and she said, yes. Check out more pictures of Cole's tank on Instagram at Cole Woods. Enjoy his tank. Oh, hey there. Well, you've made it this far, so why not subscribe, like this video, and turn on those notifications. And if you want your tank featured, email us at contact@thatreefshow.com. In our next segment, count how many times I use the word like. I have a problem. I'm working on it. Enjoy. Well, I have a bit of a dilemma. Let's start at the beginning and tell you the story of the innovative Marine Nouveau Encore. But before we start, I'm looking over and it's really disgusting. I haven't dusted or cleaned the glass in a long time. So let's do a super quick cleaning and then I'll tell you the story of the tank. I got this from Marine Depot. They gave this to me so that I could make some videos for them. This is when we just started our collaboration together, the 10-part series called Saltwater Aquariums Demystified. I originally made this 10-part series 5 years ago, I think, when I first started. And it was inspired by a YouTube person named New York Steelo. I'm sure some of you know exactly who I'm talking about. He hasn't been active for years, but his videos, I mean, he has over 30,000 subscribers, I think, and his videos have been watched millions of times, and all he has is like his phone or a simple camera, and he just places it, you know, in front of a tank, and he just talks. But he has this infectious voice that's contagious. And he had this little catchphrase that started. He was like, "Hello, all YouTubers." So I was like, wow, that was really cool. I'd like to make something like that. So one of my first video projects I ever made, and it was a 10-part series. And the 10-part series, I think I just called it How to Set Up Your First Saltwater Fish Tank or something like this. And I was a total beginner myself. I'm gonna do what New York Stilo did. He seems to be pretty popular. So I took my iPhone, and you should check out some of these videos. I mean, they're terrible, but they have good content. And I literally just like take my iPhone and I set it up on a tripod and I start to talk. I was working full time. I was a campus minister, theology teacher in an all-girls Catholic school, right? So I didn't do this very often. So anyway, I made this 10-part series, right? And then I watch it like a year later and I'm just like, oh, that was so bad. I've learned so much since then. So I started to do a redo of the 10-part series, and I only made it like 3 or 4 episodes through, and I was like, oh my god, this is taking so long, I hate it. I started making videos again. We moved down from Seattle down to Palm Desert now, which is in the Palm Springs area, and so I went into it, right? I started watching tons of YouTube videos and getting some of the gear I needed piece by piece as I started making a little bit of money, right? And then Marine Depot came along and we decided to work together, you know? And at first it was just gonna be like a 10-part collaboration. That's what we decided, and we were going to see how that went. Well, we did the 10 parts, and it was a ton of work. I mean, it was so much work, but I knew that if I was able to like keep myself to that schedule to make a video every week, it would be like my first year of teaching, which is just total trial by fire. And I did, you know, I kept to that schedule once every week. I shot it vlog style, and I went to all these different locations, and I tried to find like a location that made sense. So like when I was talking about aquascaping a rock, I went to this place down in Coachella Valley called Ladders Canyon, which had these beautiful rock walls. When I talked about fish and fish disease, I took a trip out to Long Beach, to the Long Beach Aquarium of the Pacific, you know, and I filmed there all day. It was exhausting, but it turned out really well. And not only do I think the videos turned out well, but I had to up my editing game. I learned how to do all sorts of new things, watch all sorts of new videos. This tank was supposed to be a part of that 10-part series, and it was. Because in order to make this 10-part series, I needed something to show you guys on. So if I'm like, hey, how to set up your tank, or what kind of tank you're gonna get, or like how to do maintenance, I needed a tank. Innovative Marine have this brand new tank. It's the Innovative Marine Nuvo Encore. We decided to do a freshwater side, which I have zero experience doing at all. And then we decided to do a saltwater side, which obviously is kind of my thing. We start setting it up, and the whole point was we were going to build it as a part of this 10-part series and then break it down. I was going to give it back and then probably move on to something else. So I went out and I bought fish, a clownfish, a dartfish, and I bought a green bubble tip anemone, right? Huge mistake. I mean, I broke rules that I always say don't break, and I broke them. I don't have an excuse for it, I just did. The first thing was, this tank was cycled, but obviously when you add new livestock, oftentimes it does like a second mini cycle, right? So I added in all these things after I'd cycled it with the Dr. Tim's like fishless method, took a couple weeks, and I put everything in here. And of course, what happens? The ammonia spikes again. Not only that, but me being a complete idiot at the time, I was like, oh, I'm gonna treat this like a quarantine tank. So I'm gonna do a little hyposalinic. I had the salinity down at 1.020, like a complete idiot, because what did I put in there? I put an anemone in there, and I have no excuse for it other than I had a momentary brain lapse that lasted an entire day, and I didn't realize it until after it was in there. What do? Panic mode set in. I'm like, I need to adjust the salinity. I drain water out of this and I add salt water in, and I quickly increase the salinity up to 1.025. What was I thinking? And as soon as I did it, I'm like, Matthew, you are being such an idiot right now. Like, you're killing all of your livestock. You are super stressing everything out. But by that point, it was too late. So what happened in a few days? Of course, the firefish dies. You know, no visible signs, but probably totally stressed out. I pulled him out, but the ammonia started spiking, and the anemone never recovered. Then, around that same time, my clownfish got spots all over it. I don't know if it was Brooklynella, if it was ick, if it was velvet, but of course, he died. Well, we finished up with the 10-part series. Then we decided we're gonna go on to something else. I came up with this idea, that Reef show, and that's what we're making right now. But here's the problem. What do I do with the Encore tank? I mean, the point was never to keep this. Part of that Reef show and part of the content I make for beginners is to get in new tanks, to set them up, to showcase new products. You know, I also don't feel like I did enough content to really do this Encore tank justice. I just don't know what to do with it, and I'm feeling a little frustrated with it because it's such a wonderful tank, and I think it's time to move on to the next thing. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else for you guys, so. Do you have a product you want us to try? Just shoot us an email, contact@thatreefshow.com. A super quick mini mail time because I ordered something that came in. You guys guess what it is? Let's see if I can do like this cool throw it up and then it lands on me thing. Okay, I'm gonna go up. Here we go. Did it work? I hope it worked. All right, got my first That Reef Show swag. That's pretty awesome. Supposed to be 100 degrees today, but it's not quite 100 degrees yet, so let's go outside and do this. Okay, here's a little behind the scenes for you. I actually unboxed this like 2 months ago, but for this video I want to do an unboxing, so I'm actually gonna go rebox it and then unbox it. So you gotta promise to be surprised when I'm doing the unboxing and pretend that it's the first time. It's this one. It's the 4-stage advanced. If you want to go really fancy, we'll go to the 6-stage. But seriously, just stay tuned for next week because we're gonna upgrade this. So you can get this at Marine Depot. It's $200. It's 4 stages, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the advanced model comes with a flush valve, a dual inline TDS meter, and a pressure gauge. It comes with everything you see here, a user's manual, how to set it up. Comes with whatever the heck this name tool is, which goes under here, you know, and it unscrews it for you. It comes with a faucet adapter. It comes with some RO tubing so that you can set it up. Let me see if I can do the specs from the top of my head. The Marine Depot Clean Water Advanced 4-stage, up to 100 gallons per day. The water starts by going into this side here and it goes through a sediment filter. It's literally like a super dense sponge. You can see the water passes between the two right here. Then it goes into the carbon filter. This whole thing is full of carbon. The water doesn't go to the DI. The water goes out this way. And if you turn it around, let's see. All right, can you see it right here? It's this tube right here. So water goes up and it goes into your RO membrane. Okay, here's what your RO membrane looks like. Oh, let's see if I can focus in here. See this? It's like rolls upon roll, so you can actually undo the tape if you want to, which I've tried to find some B-roll. I've actually done that before, but if you remove this tape, you can pull this out and you can unroll it. 4-stage, it's the DI resin. It's color changing, which is fantastic. It turns from this dark color to a brown color, and you should change it when it's like a ½ inch or an inch away from the top of being brown. So to replace these, you can actually just unscrew them. Try not to make a mess. See that? See if I can zoom in here. So this is what DI resin looks like. It's like all these little beads, blue and brown, and the blue ones I think are the ones that change the color. You just buy replacement color changing DI resin from Marine Depot. After the carbon filter is where the pressure gauge kicks in. It will let you know if your 2 pre-filters are clogged, and the higher the better. You're gonna get way more product water. You also have a dual inline TDS meter. Number 1, we're gonna attach the hose adapter. Step 2, you will need to remove the DI cartridge from the far left chamber before turning on the cold water supply. So, remove, place, check. Step 3, allow the cold water to run for 5 minutes to flush the sediment and carbon block filters. This is also a really good time to check for problems. Like, look at this. That should not be happening. Give it a big tighten. Let's see if that works, okay? Here we go, turning it on. Ooh, mother of goodness. I didn't connect it. Let's try again. It's not, oh my goodness, this is not going well. Zoom in again. Okay, there, right here. This is where the problem was, right here. Okay, take 2. Oh, no leak. while that's going for 5 minutes, let's go look at the next step. I think we probably have to install the RO membrane, which is over here. 4A, turn off the water supply, remove the RO membrane. The RO membranes are packed with an antibacterial agent. I didn't know that. To keep sterile, you gotta flush that before it's used and allow the flow unit to run for 30 minutes. Couple things to note here. You should see water coming out of both the wastewater and the clean water. You know what I really should do is I got 30 minutes and it's only like 90 out. It's not too hot yet. So let's go for my run. It's my wife right there. She's playing a game. Am I lying? Am I lying?
No.
All right, let's go for a run. Allow the system flush 30 minutes, then reinstall DI cartridge, which we have here. Make 2 gallons, dispose it. Okay, we need 2 gallons, clean water, clean line into here. Get the water on. 2 gallons should not take long with this system, but next week when we upgrade it, it's gonna be even faster. Focus, focus. There, that's focused. Okay, 2 gallons. It's filling up quickly. Dispose of it, and then we're good. Everything's installed except for the inline TDS meter. I already did it. If I find the B-roll footage I already took, I'll be playing it right now. You get out a pair of scissors, and you have to cut it in a couple places, and then insert it into the inline TDS meter. The first one you want to install after the RO membrane and before the DI resin. That way you'll know when the RO membrane is giving way. And then you want to install the second one at the very end of your clean water because your goal is 0 TDS. Did you see the B-roll? Did I find it? I think I found it. My water pressure is okay. It's approaching 60. The product water, it should be 0. Here we go. Let's see. Ready? 0. I think that's about 2 gallons, about halfway full. 2.5 gallons flushed. That's it for Product Spotlight this week. Next week, we're gonna take the exact same 4-stage advanced clean water. We're gonna add 2 more DI resin containers. We're gonna add an additional RO membrane. We're gonna mount it. We're gonna drill holes in our RO reservoir to kind of automate the process and really make it just that much better. Is there anything else? I don't think there's anything else. So I feel like I'm missing something. No, not missing anything. The end. Hey Siri, choose a number between 1 and 751.
The answer is 271.
271. Let's see here. 271. And the winner is Roger Rodriguez. Congratulations. You just won the Chill Solutions Thermoelectric Chiller. I'm going to try to find your email, but for some reason you don't have it public on YouTube when you see this video, email us, contact@thatreefshow.com, so we can get your prize in the mail. Congratulations, and if you didn't win, better luck next time. Put in the brand new Aquamax protein skimmer, which is sitting over there. Hey, not bad, autofocus. Good job. Nope. Bloopy. It's just always going, so there's nothing I can really. Oh. Put the flow back. Hi. You want to say hi? This is our dog. He has a very big underbite. He's not growling. That's just his face.